Math 6, Chapter 6 Review Help video. I'll read over the problems and then help you set them up. You will have to solve the problems and then check it with the answer key when you have completed the entire review. Number 1. In the problem below, assume that people divide the food evenly. Write your answer as a division problem in fraction form. We have worked on this skill a lot in your warm-ups and on your homework. The first question states, 3 people share 7 pieces of cake. How many pieces of cake should each person get? In this problem, you have 3 people sharing 7 pieces of cake. Remember, your people are your groups. You are making 3 groups. Your groups are on the bottom or the denominator of your fraction. Go ahead, pause the video, answer the question, then hit play. Problem number 2. Again, in the problem, assume that people divide the food evenly. Write your answer as a division problem in fraction form. Problem number 2 states, if 4 people share a large box of fries, what part is each person's share? 4 people share a large box. If you have a large box, that means you only have one thing. Go ahead and set up the fraction in order to solve this problem. Pause the video, answer the question, then hit play. Next skill, circle an expression below. You pick one of the problems to solve. Then, find the quotient of your circled division problem or division expression, show all of your work. If this is a skill you are struggling with, remember you can always try 2 or all 3 of these problems in order to have more practice and not just do one. Let's go ahead and think about how to set these up. When you are setting these up and you are dividing fractions, you need to have everything in fraction form. So for example, this first problem, you have 1 1/2 divided by 8. 1 1/2 is a mixed number, not a fraction. You have one whole group and 1/2. Your groups come from your denominator, just like when you were dividing food and your people. We have 2 out of 2, which means altogether we have 3 halves. In order to make 8 look like a fraction, we do 8 over 1. Then when you're dividing fractions, you need to set up your giant fraction, 3 halves divided by 8 over 1. And then you can solve from there. Again, everything must be in fraction form. So if you were looking at this second one, 6 divided by 8 4/7, you have 6 over 1 divided by, in this situation, we have 8 whole groups, not one whole group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 4/7. We have 8 full groups of 7 out of 7. You would fill all of these in and figure out how much you have for your fraction. Go ahead, solve the problems, ask questions if you have them, pause the video, hit play when you're ready. Next skill, find the perimeter of your circled figure. Pick one of the figures above and find the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is the outside distance or the distance around the shape. In order to do so, you need to identify how long each side is. Look back in your notes if you need to. You need to identify how long each unit is And then you need to figure out how much you have, or what is your coefficient for each value. If you were to walk around these shapes, what would you have? Pause the video, answer the question, then hit play. Your next skill is finding the area of the circled figure. Go ahead and pick one of the figures. So we're going to look at the inside of this. In order to look at the inside, we're going to figure out how many tiles we have of each. When we're doing that, you're identifying groups. We have 2 x² tiles. You can go from there. Again, if you are struggling with these skills, practice all 3 of them so that you know how to do this when it comes to the test. Pause the video, answer the question, then hit play. The next skill, pick one of the expressions below. Evaluate your circled expression above for j equals 4. This is what we practiced in class yesterday. When you are doing this, you need to first write down your expression. For example, if I were to pick the third one, I would write down 12 plus 8j. Then I need to substitute, which means take the place of. Instead of j, I would substitute in the 4. Make sure when you are solving this that you identify your terms, you find the solution to the terms, and then find your final value. Show all of your work. Pause the video, answer a question, then hit play. The next skill, we have been practicing this skill on our warm-ups. It's also been in your homework almost every night. Place the following numbers in their approximate place on the number line below. In order to do a skill like this, it's easier if they're in decimal format first. You need to think about how do you change a fraction into a decimal. Use the decimal value to help you place it. Make sure you pay attention to the fact that this is a 0, this is a 1. Anything that is above 1 should go to the right of 1. Anything that is between 0 and 1 should go in about their spot here. It is easy to find the approximate location if you mark half and you visually know where that is. Is the decimal above half or below half when you're placing it on the number line? Pause the video, answer the question, then hit play. The next skill, name the coordinates of each point shown in the graph using ordered pairs. This has been in warm-ups and homework as well. Remember, you're doing your x value first, or how far over is the point. Then you're doing your y value second, how far up is the point. For example, x, when you're doing these, remember you're starting at the origin or the center. X, you do not go right or left, you stay, which means you're going to have 0, and you go up 8 spots. So our coordinate for x is going to be 0, 8. Answer the rest of the question. Pause the video, then hit play when you're ready. The final skill, graph and name the following points on the coordinate grid. The first one, remember when you're talking about these, you're talking about x first and y second, or left and right first and up and down second. You're always starting at the origin or the center. For A, we go not anywhere to the right or to the left. We go 0 places, and then we go up 3. 1, 2, 3. Put a nice big bold dot, and then label it A. You go ahead and plot B, C, and D. Make sure if you are struggling with any of these skills, you ask for help. If you want to do the second or third choice for the perimeter, area, and fractions, that would be a really good idea for extra practice.